Hello students, welcome to the online classes of Nirmal PG College. So in the last class, we have seen the gradient of a scalar field and its graphical representation. Until then, we have seen the rate of change in the scalar function in the direction of PQ and in direction and in PR, which was your del phi over del R in PQ and del phi over del N in PR. The scalar function was represented by phi, and this was your graph or diagram of a gradient. Okay. So now see from the diagram of PQR triangle PQR, from the triangle PQR, what will be your cos theta? From triangle PQR, we know the cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. Base upon hypotenuse. Cos theta equal to base upon hypotenuse. Okay. So what will be the base and what will be the hypotenuse? So I have told you that del n is the minimum distance between the surface S1 and S2 and del n is less than del R. So according to you, what will be the base and what will be the hypotenuse between the del n and del R? If I see from this del n is less than del R, then del n will be your base and del R will be your hypotenuse, because base is always smaller than the hypotenuse. Okay. So what will be your base? Your base will be del n or hypotenuse will be del R. Okay. So here del n will be, if I see from here, del R will be del n upon cos theta. Okay. Transfer del R into left side and cos theta into right side. What will you get? Del R equal to del n upon cos theta. This was your equation 1, this was your equation 2, and this is your equation number 3. Okay. Clear? So from triangle PQR, you have cos theta will be del n upon del R, then del R will be del n upon cos theta. So this is your equation number 3. Now put the value of del R. See from equation 1 and 3, what I want to do? Del R, putting the value of del R into equation 1. What am I doing? Put the value of del R from equation 3 into equation 1. Value of del R, which is del n over del cos theta, I want to put this del R in equation 1. So what will be your equation number 1 become? Del phi over del R will be now del phi over. Del R is del n upon cos theta. So cos theta is in denominator. What will happen? It will go upside. So what will be the del phi over del R? Del R phi over del R will be your del phi over del n into cos theta. Del phi over del R will be del phi over del n cos theta. Okay. So now del phi over del R equal to del phi over del n into cos theta. And we know about the maximum value of cos theta. What is the maximum value of cos theta? The cos theta's maximum value is 1. Cos theta's maximum value is 1 and minimum value is 0. Okay. Or we can say minus 1. So now cos theta's maximum value of cos theta. What am I doing? I am taking the maximum value of cos theta, which is your 1. Which is your 1. This is your equation number 4. So put the value of maximum value of cos theta equal to 1 into equation number 4. What will you get? You will get the maximum value. You will get the maximum value of the equation number 4 into left side. The left side's part will be your maximum part in equation number 4. From where? When you put cos theta equal to 1. So why the putting of cos theta equal to 1, the maximum value of cos theta equal to 1, you will get the maximum value of del phi over del r, which will be del phi over del r max equal to del phi over del n. See, del n is the normal displacement vector from surface S1. Okay. So del phi over del r max equal to del phi over del n. See, here del represents the partial and d represents the complete differentiation. Okay. Del represents the partial while d represents the complete differentiation. So here what am I doing in here? I am doing here complete differentiation. Okay. I am changing this equation into complete. So this will be your del phi, d phi over dr maximum equal to d phi over dn. Here you can write del r or you can write dr vector. Both are same. Here dn vector or del n vector or dn vector, both are correct. Okay. Either you can write del r or dr vector. Here either you can write del n or dn vector. Okay. So d phi over dr max equal to d phi over dn, and this is your gradient phi. This is your gradient phi, the maximum rate of change in a scalar function in the perpendicular direction of a surface is called the gradient of a scalar function. So see, d phi over dn is in perpendicular direction of the scalar function, and d phi over dr maximum rate of change in the scalar function in the perpendicular direction of the surface. dn is perpendicular direction of the S1. So gradient phi, the definition of the gradient phi will be the maximum rate of change, the maximum rate of change in the scalar function which is perpendicular to the equscalar, or I am eliminating equscalar surface. The maximum rate of change in the scalar function which is perpendicular to the surface is called the gradient phi of that scalar function. Okay. The maximum rate of change in the scalar function, that scalar function will be your gradient phi. Okay. So this will be your definition of the gradient phi. Gradient phi means how much is function is changing. How much is function is changing in the perpendicular direction, and that change should be maximum. Then we will call the change will be your gradient. Okay. The maximum rate of change in the scalar function which is you perpendicular to the surface, or we can say the maximum rate of change in the perpendicular direction of the scalar function to the surface is called the gradient phi. So this will be your gradient phi will be d phi over dn or d phi over dr maximum. Okay, this is in the scalar form. If I want to write in the vector form, this will be your, always remember that the gradient of a scalar function is always a vector quantity. The gradient of a scalar function always is a vector quantity. So phi is your scalar. If I take the gradient of the scalar function, what will I get? I will get the vector quantity. Okay. So in the vector form, gradient phi will be d phi over dn into n cap, where n cap represents the perpendicular direction to the surface. Okay. So this will be your gradient phi equal to d phi over dn into n cap. So this is in the vector form, this is in the scalar form. So if you want to write the complete definition, okay, let's see. If any question is asked into your question or exam, okay, what is the gradient of a scalar field? Give the mathematical operation of the expression of the gradient of a scalar field. Then it will depend on the number. That if you have 2 number question, you will simply give the definition and give the formula, write the formula. But if you are told to write this question in question number of 5, number 5 or 10, then you will have to do this whole drama. Okay, so this will be your gradient of a scalar field, and this is the mathematical expression of the gradient of a scalar field. Further, you can calculate the gradient of a scalar field in the Cartesian coordinate system. Gradient of a scalar field in a Cartesian coordinate system. In a Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, gradient of a scalar field in a Cartesian coordinate system. So here, the gradient of a scalar field, gradient phi will be represented as, the gradient phi will be represented as in the form of x, y, z, because the Cartesian coordinate system is represented in the form of x, y, z. You have seen the diagram in the terms of x, y, z. Okay, so the gradient of a scalar field in the Cartesian coordinate system, so the gradient phi will be represented as x, y, and z. Okay, so let's see what is the Cartesian coordinate form of the gradient phi. So this was your gradient phi equal to d phi over dn into n cap. You have seen these in the diagram. From the diagram, cos theta equal to dn over dr. Add there del n over del r, but I am changing del n to del r, dn and del r to dr. So this will be your cos theta equal to dn over dr. So this is your gradient phi equal to d phi over n into n cap. Okay. This is your equation number 1. Okay. What I want to do, I am doing the scalar product of dl are a scalar product of equation 1 with dr vector, where dr vector is your displacement vector. Where dr vector is your displacement vector. I will explain it to you later, but here you see that I want to do the scalar product of equation 1 with dr vector. So gradient phi dot dr vector, the scalar product is represented by dot product. So this will be your scalar product equal to d phi over dn into n cap dot dr vector. Okay. Now this will be your equation number 2. I think you have studied the scalar product of two vectors. Suppose you have two vectors a and v. You have two vectors, vector a and vector v. If you want to do the scalar product of, and the angle between a and b is theta. Okay, then the scalar product of a and v will be determinant of a or magnitude of a into magnitude of b into cos theta or ab cos theta. So this is your scalar product of two vectors a and b vector. Okay. Now here from equation 2, I want to do the scalar product n cap, which is your unit normal vector or unit vector, and dr vector. So what will be your scalar product of these two? So this will be mod of n cap, means magnitude of n cap, magnitude of dr vector into cos theta. And we know, you know, all know that the magnitude of unit vector is always 1. The magnitude of unit vector is always 1. And dr vector's magnitude is dr. And so this will be your n cap dot dr will be, this is your 1. This will be your dr into cos theta. So n cap dot dr will be your dr cos theta. So equation 2 will become gradient phi dot dr vector equal to d phi over dn, d phi over dn, or n cap dot dr is dr cos theta. This is your dr cos theta. And from the diagram, what did you see? You saw cos theta equal to dn over dr. What did you see? You saw dn over dr equal to cos theta, or dn equal to dr cos theta. Triangle, remember the triangle of PQR. You wrote the equation cos theta. So dn equal to dr cos theta, here dr cos theta. So gradient phi dot dr vector will be d phi over dn into dr cos theta. What we can write instead of dr cos theta, we can write dn. So dn, cancel out dn to dn. So what will you get? Gradient phi dot dr vector equal to d phi. This will be your flux, dr vector displacement vector, and gradient phi. Let's write this equation into 5. Equation number 5. You have done most of work from progressing representing the gradient of a scalar field in Cartesian coordinate system. Now you have only 4 to 5 steps away from the mathematical expression for the Cartesian coordinate systems in gradient in the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay. So see, now clean this area. This is your lecture number 5. So you have got gradient phi dot dr vector equal to d phi. Remember this. This will be useful in the further expression or derivation. Okay. What did you get? You got d phi equal to gradient phi dot dr vector. Remember it. Okay. And from starting, before starting the mathematical expression or the diagram, I told you that the scalar function phi is a function of x, y, and z. Phi is a function of x, y, z. Okay. Means the value of phi, scalar function value of phi will depend on x and y and z. But remember, the x, y, and z, these three are independent variables. Means they will not depend to each other. If I want to vary phi with respect to x, then y and z will behave like constant. If I want to see value of phi with respect to y, then x and z will behave like a variable. Then, or if I want to see the change of phi with respect to z, then x and y will behave like a constant. Okay. So x, y, z all are independent to each other, or all are independent to each other. Okay. Means these three do not depend to each other. Now this was your equation number 5, and this is your equation number 6. Now partial differentiation. If you have studied partial differentiation, I think you have studied the partial differentiation of a of a function in class 11th and class 12. So this will be easy for you. What I want to do? I want to do the partial differentiation of equation 6. Partial differentiation of equation 6 with respect to x, y and z respectively. Okay, x, y, z differentiation. I want to do partial differentiation, partial differentiate. I want to do partial differentiate of phi with respect to x, y, z. Okay. So what will be the partial differentiation of phi? This will be d phi equal to, phi will represented as d phi. Now first you have to do partial differentiation with respect to x, plus then about with respect to y, then with respect to z. So partial differentiation of equation number 6 with respect to x will be del phi over del x into dx, where y and z will be constant. Here y and z will be constant, plus. Now partial differentiation with respect to y, then del phi over del y, del phi over del y into dy, del phi over del y into dy. Here x and z will be constant, plus. With respect to z, what will be the partial differentiation with respect to z? This will be your del phi over del z into dz, and here x and y will be constant. So if you want to do partial differentiation of a function which is a function of coordinates x, y, z, then this will be your partial differentiation of that function. Here phi, there is anyone, phi, anything, f, capital F, y and anything. So this will be your partial differentiation, and this is your equation number 7. Okay. Now what I want to do? I want to do vector A. Suppose you have a vector A which is in component form is ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. Means in the x direction you have ax, in the y direction you have ay, in the z direction you have az. And another vector v vector which is bx I cap plus vy j cap plus bz k cap. Means you have another vector b vector which is in x is components. These are the components of a vector, and these are the components of vector v. bx I cap plus vy j cap plus bz k cap. So I want to do the scalar product of vector a and b, means dot product of a and b. So what will I get? A vector dot v vector will be ax I cap plus ay j cap plus az k cap. Okay. Dot bx I cap plus vy j cap plus vz k cap. Now what will be the scalar product of these two vectors? We know the scalar product of I cap to I cap will be 1, and instead of this I cap to j cap and I cap to k cap will be 0. Same goes for j cap and same goes for k cap. So what will be the scalar product of a vector dot v vector? Ax bx, ay by, az bz. So this will be your scalar product ax bx plus ay by plus az bz. This is your equation number 8. This is your equation number 7. This is your equation number 8. Okay. Now if you see the similarity between equation 7 and equation 8, you have got the right formula. You will get the derivation correct. So what am I saying? See equation number 7 and equation number 8. These are same, look like same. Ax Bx. This will be your Ax Bx. Or you can term these two as a, this will be your Ax and this will be your Bx. What I want to do, I want to do equation number 7 to be written as a scalar product of two vectors. What I want to do, say or do equation number 7 to be written as a scalar product of two vectors a and b. So this will be your Ax Bx, this will be your Ay, this will be your By. Okay, this will be your Az and this will be your Bz. So from equation 8, so this was your scalar product of two vectors. From this means equation 8 can be written as a scalar product of two vectors. Then I can write the equation number 7 can be written as a scalar product of two vectors. Means this can be written as a d phi will be, what will be d phi? D phi will be Axi cap plus Ayj cap plus Az k cap dot Bxi cap plus Byj cap plus Bz k cap. So from here equation 7, what you can write? You can write del phi over del x I cap plus del phi over del y j cap plus del phi over del z k cap dot dx I cap plus dy j cap plus dz k cap. Okay. What I want to do with equation number 8, then you have understood the equation number 7. What did I do with equation number 7? I did equation number 7 and it will be written as a scalar product of two vectors. Ax Bx, Ay By, Az Bz. This equation number is written as this. Okay. So d phi equal to this. Equation number 9. And you know the r vector is written as in the position vector xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap. This is your position vector r vector, and this is written as xi cap plus yj cap plus z k cap. So what will be the dr vector? Dr vector is change in r. So you want to see the change in x, y and z. So let's suppose change in x is dx, change in y is dy, and change in z is dz. So dr vector will be dxi cap plus dyj cap plus dz k cap. Okay, so this is your displacement vector dr vector, which was from P to Q. So dr vector is can be written as this dxi cap plus dyj cap plus dz k cap. So from equation 9, what you can write? D phi will be del phi over del x I cap plus del phi over del y j cap plus del phi over del z k cap dot dr vector. What did I do? Replaced dxi cap plus dyj cap plus dz k cap to dr vector. Okay, so this will be your d phi and this is your equation number 10. Now compare equation number 5 and 10. Equation number 5 and 10. D phi, dr vector. So what will be the gradient phi? See from equation 5 to 10, compare equation number 5 to 10. What will you get? You will get the gradient phi, the gradient of a scalar function phi in the terms of a Cartesian coordinate system x, y and z. So what will you get? Gradient phi will be del phi over del x I cap plus del phi over del y j cap plus del phi over del z k cap. So this will be your gradient phi in the terms of Cartesian coordinate system, where What does it mean? Del phi over del x means partial differentiation of phi with respect to x, keeping y and z constant. Keeping y and z constant. Partial differentiation of phi with respect to y, keeping x and z constant. Partial differentiation of phi with respect to z, keeping x and y constant. Okay. So this was your gradient phi, is gradient of a scalar product in the terms of the Cartesian coordinate system. So this was your topic, and in next class we will see some numericals of the gradient of a scalar field. Okay, thank you.